One of the most requested bands in 2022 on my channel was The Neighbourhood, and I'm sorry I didn't get round to actually featuring them, but I was here, I was there, I was everywhere promoting new music, some old, some new, and establishing stars on my channel, and they slipped away. But most people towards Christmas of 2022 said, hey, come on, The Neighbourhood. One of the most popular songs is Daddy Issues. It's very personal to the lead singer, and I'm going to read out a bit of bio about them because they're new to the channel. The Neighbourhood, an American rock band formed in Newbury, California in 2011. The band is composed of vocalist Jesse Rutherford, guitarist Jeremy Freedom and sax Abels, and bassist Mickey Margett. After releasing two EPs, I'm Sorry and Thank You, The Neighbourhood released its first full-length album, I Love You, on April 23rd in 2013, excuse me, via Columbia Records. Now, the album was preceded by their 2012 single, Sweeter Weather, the sole single to appear on the Billboard 100, peaking at number 14, and in 2013, and resurging in popularity a decade later through radio play, airplay, TikTok, and Spotify. Now, they've gone on to have many hits, and they are seriously popular. Today's video is from Chile. Lollapalooza is the name of the stage setting and the venue, and it's taken live from that. And I thought, looking at the issues, many versions of Daddy Issues, why did I choose Chile? And from the images, there was two girls, which I'm going to include in my thumbnail, that just showed such emotion. So therefore, when I did my research, this is what it's come up with. The official quote, thank you Genius, who is a great website for lyrics and information about bands. They got from The Neighbourhood, Daddy Issues peers into the relationship between frontman Jesse Rutherford and his late father. The lyrical content from one of those weeks, RIP to my youth and greetings from California, as well as tweet Rutherford made in 2014, mentioned the passing of his father. Although the song refers to his father several times, it should be known that he talks about the effects of growing up without a father, specifically for younger contemporary women. Also, one of the fans said the interpretation came from Jam's The Eighth. A sad but great song, no doubt. The meaning is pretty straightforward. This song is about two destructive people in a destructive relationship through no fault of their own. But for whatever reason, each have commitment issues because of their upbringing. Daddy issues can pertain to anything: lack of love, emotional validation or attention, or even abandonment. Point being, the father figure was abusive in both of their lives in some way, causing them to be the way they are today, messed up. It's like two soggy pieces of puzzle that try and mesh together, but they were never meant to fit. It just appears that way, and the sogginess will keep them glued together temporarily. But the connection is destined to fail from a lack of strength on both parts. The singer can empathize with the pain, or can he? With her pain, or can he? But ultimately, they will never be able to engage in a fully healthy relationship. I like the let it out part though. You have to, otherwise you can't grow. And I'm going to let it out and give you my interpretation after we listen to the extraordinary video that's caught my attention. And it's all the way from Chile. So let's sit back to the live version of this, and then I'll quickly get through the lyrics.
Who's got daddy issues? Yeah. Oh. Take you like a drug. Oh. Yeah. Taste you on my tongue. Right? When you ask me what I'm thinking about, Cried when you left at first. Now that you're dead it hurts. And this time I gotta know, where did my daddy go? I'm not entirely here. Half of me has disappeared. Go ahead and cry, little boy. You know what your daddy did too. You know what your mama went through. You gotta let it out soon. Let it out! Nobody doesn't like you too. I know how much it matters to you. I know that you got daddy issues. If you were my little girl, I'd do whatever I could do. I'd run away, hide with you. I know that you got daddy issues, 'cause I do too, yeah. You got him, yeah, you got him, girl. 'Cause I got the same problem, girl. Yeah, you know I help you solve it, girl. Why? 'Cause you need a real man in your life, like, yeah, in your life, like, yeah, in your life, like me. Yeah, go.
Wow, and there's nothing sweeter than a song that affects an audience like that. Those two young girls will be famous worldwide. They caught my attention, and they're in the special thumbnail that I always make for anybody I feature on my channel. Extremely poignant song that affects a lot of people. And if I was to be honest, do I have daddy issues? I never did. I had a hard-working father that went to work from 9 to 5. My mother supplemented the father figure with my older brother, who was authorized to put discipline into us if we needed it. And we accepted the role change. We accepted he had to earn money. And my parents were hardworking people. My mother, 2 jobs as well. And I grew up in a stable atmosphere because of my older brother and older sister. Not everybody has that. And I accepted my father was never going to be around too much because he was working too hard. Just one of those upbringing things that, and I was a very accepting child. I was never, I had my own bike. We lived a great lifestyle. We had food on the table. So I never had issues. But I do relate to people who do, because my best friend had daddy issues. And I'll bring in a lot of experience while I'm talking about the lyrics. And I've had friends over the years that have had daddy issues as well. Some good, some bad. Mine were all good, so I'm probably an exception to the rule. But the song appealed to me because it was asked by a couple of fans. And you know who you are, and I hope that you're happy. I've now featured the song you've asked me from the Neighbourhood. Verse 1 says, "Take you like a drug. I taste you on my tongue." Straight away it makes you ask, in the opening of this, daddy issues, what is the drug? I taste you on my tongue. Let's continue to find out. Chorus, you ask me what I'm thinking about. I tell you that I'm thinking about whatever you're thinking about. Aye. Tell me something that I'll forget. And you might have to tell me again. It's crazy what you'll do for a friend. It's quite complicated because I can come from any angle and I'm thinking there's one of 3 different things in my head straight away. So maybe I'll just go to a third chorus. Go ahead and cry, little girl. Nobody does it like you. Now I'm getting the story. I know how much it matters to you. I know that you've got daddy issues. And if you were my little girl, I'd do whatever I could. I'd run away and hide with you. I know that you've got daddy issues, and I do. So now we go back to the beginning and it formulates what the song is about. I take you like a drug. I taste you on my tongue. I think directly that's about the father. It's about the upbringing. It's not about the little girl yet. It's about straight away, not blasphemous, but almost hitting out at the father. You are part of my life. Life is like a drug. And there's an old saying about bittersweet on the tongue, that when you taste something you don't like, the thought, the memories, the upbringing of certain issues with the father is prevalent. It's very unrelevant, because he then goes on to relate it to a young girl that's in his company, and somebody that could it be his daughter? I don't know if he has a daughter. I don't know if the lead singer does or does not. I know nothing about the band. It's totally fresh. But there's so many perspectives it can come into on the young girl. And whatever you think about, he says, tell me that I'll forget. In other words, how many times have you said to, let's say, a father, hey, I want you to remember this. It's important to me. Sports day, for example, is next week when you're young and the father doesn't turn up. That's a daddy issue, because he has to answer as to why he didn't turn up. And then it says, and you might have to tell me again. It's crazy what you'll do for a friend. And sometimes you need to hear words back from your father as to an explanation as to what's going on here. And when you don't get it, you think, my father's supposed to be like a best friend. But it's like that bitterness in the tongue that it starts off with. All his words are bitter, false. And I taste you on my tongue. And that could be another reference, by the way, that when you hug, or when you kissed your father when you were young, you taste the drug or alcohol, take you like a drug. So drug reference, bitter on the tongue. You're always forgetting things. I'm not important already, into verse 2. And then straight into that chorus, which says, go ahead and cry, little girl. Nobody does it like you. So is it attention from his own daughter looking up at him? I look back to get this straight. And the meaning's pretty straightforward. It's about two destructive people in a destructive relationship through no fault of their own. And it's about lack of love, emotional validation. The child wants to be validated. He can see himself in the eyes of the child. And it's almost like the child saying, just love me, daddy. But he can't, because of his upbringing. It's generational. All he remembers is the taste of drugs and the forget-me-not dad who didn't care about whether he was there or not for him. So it's messed up. And then your feelings become messed up towards your own children. Although you can relate to the issues, that girl crying, it's like, I had to cry. So if you have to cry, you have to cry. It's a failing on his part to be emotional. It's just a failing. There's no engagement. There's no healthy relationship here, simply because he grew up without a healthy relationship. He doesn't know how to be emotional. Verse 2 says, I tried to write your name in the rain, but the rain never came. So I made it with the sun. The shade always comes at the worst time. So when it comes to emotion, he's already emotionally dead when he talks about, but whose name is he referring to? And what does he mean by the rain never came? The rain is tears. Again, it's about emotions. I tried to get emotional when you didn't turn up, or when you didn't love me, or when you didn't hug me, or when you were not drunk or on drugs, or had something that tastes bitter in my mouth. I tried to resolve that the best way I could, but when you're a child, the only way you can do it is through tears, and sometimes even as a child you run out of tears. Hence why he says the rain never came. So made with the sun. So what do children do? They escape into their thought process and try and make it any issues with the father, there's going to be hope. He will change. Everything will be better. But the shade comes because your fears, what you see with the eyes, affects your heart. You know it won't change, even as a child. So you're numb. You don't know how to respond, how to react. Because as a child, you're always told by adults, do as you're told. Be quiet. Sit in the corner. Don't speak to me like that. So he doesn't know how to emotionally express himself other than say, always comes at the worst time. And I think always comes at the worst time. What always comes at the worst time? I think it's forgiveness. Let's continue. You ask me what I'm thinking about. I tell you what I'm thinking about. Whatever you're thinking about. Tell me something that I'll forget and you might have to tell me again. It's crazy what I'll do for a friend. So he wants a friendship with the father. He wants, but his memories are, you ask me what I'm thinking about. And all he ever got was just, don't bother me, don't bother me. And his way of thinking is, I'm thinking about the car or I'm thinking about something else. But what they want is to hear you're thinking about them. The child, the girl that cried looking up, I think it could be his daughter or his sisters or his niece, something like that. But he has no emotional anything connection because of what happened to him. They're daddy issues. The chorus says, go ahead and cry, little girl, he says. And if you were my little girl, I'd do whatever I could. I'd run and hide with you. So the girl isn't his. So who is the little girl? I think it could be a sister figure or a friend's daughter that he relates to and he wants to reach out, but he doesn't know how to make that emotional attachment, take away the daughter and protect her. He doesn't know how to do any of that because of the cold upbringing he's had. And so it continues. I'm dying to let you know how I'm getting on. I didn't cry when you left at first, but now that you're dead, it hurts. This time I gotta know, where did my daddy go? I'm not entirely here. Half of me has disappeared. When you're a child, you lose your childhood for many, many reasons. Abuse. It doesn't have to be sexual. It can be physical. And it doesn't have to be sexual or physical. It can be mental. And he's had the mental abuse. He doesn't describe any of the others here. About growing up with a person who had a drug problem and only gave him hugs and kisses when he was high and left a bitter taste on his tongue. The alcohol was the drug. So there was definitely a drink problem here. And then he said, I have no memories of you. So when you died, I didn't know how to feel. I was so used to you being gone. The fact that you're physically gone, that's what I'm used to. So the emotional detachment continues. Go ahead and cry, little boy. You know that your daddy did too. So this is in reference to himself. You know what your mama went through. You got to let it out soon. You just got to let it out soon. So to deal with his demons, he's got to go back inside himself, go to the wee boy and say, come on, cry. Because he learnt not to cry. He spent his whole childhood in shock, in mourning of never having a father, without probably the love, the attention, money in his back pocket, daddy buying him things for his birthday. None of that. He had none of that. So he was emotionally dead. But he knows to move on in life. He's got to let go of his demons and he's got to just say, right, what happened, happened. I'm a man now, I need to move on. But that's very difficult when you've lost so many years of your childhood. It does finish, go ahead and cry, little girl. So he goes back to the girl situation. He sees crying in front of him. Nobody does it like you. So she's screaming and screaming for attention. I think it could be his daughter. I'm only saying, maybe he's not married, but it could be his friend's daughter. And because he does say, and if you were my little girl, I'd do whatever I could and take you away and protect you. If you're my little girl, I'd do whatever I could. And he finishes on that. So you see the crowd in the audience relating to that. You know, maybe some of the audience actually had daddy issues. But whatever way, it was a very powerful song and my first introduction to the Neighbourhood. Thank you for listening. It was very long, but it's a very deep song to get into for my first. So I apologize for that. The next time it'll be very short. Take care.